Digitalization has been something of a metric to measure Sri Lanka's futuristic development. In fact, Sri Lanka's government has made digitalization a national priority, making Sri Lanka undergo a comprehensive digital transformation within the next 3 years. With a national digital strategy in place for 2030 to improve our economic competitiveness, public services, to create jobs and to promote sustainability, we wonder why it took so long for Sri Lanka to jump on the tech bandwagon. With me today is tech entrepreneur with 3 decades of experience who has founded several tech ventures and built many tech products. Harsha Purasinghe is on the show today. Harsha, it seems to me that a lot of great things are happening in the tech space here in Sri Lanka. What are you seeing of Sri Lanka's tech space?
What I can see right now is, again, the companies are building the momentum, and I can see that given the stability in the political ecosystem, a very strong, thriving tech ecosystem emerging. So if you look at right now, I can see there's a lot of startups emerging in sectors that we never envisioned, like of agri-tech. Last week I had the pleasure of witnessing some latest agri-tech startups of Sri Lanka. So there's lots of startups emerging. And also I see, if you look at mature startups going IPO and doing the exits, like what we witnessed SpeakMe, I mean, that's a phenomenal benchmark or a milestone for Sri Lankan tech landscape to see a gigantic IPO. And also from the global front, we can see lots of Sri Lankan companies making waves in the global arena. So given the stability in the macroeconomic conditions, I see a very thriving, positive tech ecosystem emerging now.
What can we capitalize on, but actually what stops us from capitalizing on these?
One of the driving force behind tech sector has been our talent pool. Continuously, Sri Lanka has been producing fantastic talent. That's something that we need to capitalize on. And also our geographic location, where we can use Sri Lanka as a hub for digital service innovation. So that's where we can capitalize on. On the other side, what is stopping is as you know, every now and then we get hit with some incident. From 2019, I don't need to tell you, we just came out of a civil war, then we had multiple catastrophes, one after another. So the instability is the one which has caused our tech industry to flourish. But given now we see, hopefully we see a stable economic condition and political conditions, I am very optimistic we can see a brighter future for our industry.
So what are the main initiatives Sri Lanka can implement to put us on par with the rest of the world, especially our neighbor India?
If you really look at one of the things Sri Lanka has to do is to continuously invest in digital infrastructure. We need to create a broad-based, wider adoption of broadband and make it inclusive, cost-effective. We need to continue to invest in that. And then also we need to invest in digital public infrastructure. And also we need to establish some of these acts like the Cybersecurity Act, Data Protection Act needs to be enforced as planned after March 31st. And also we need to set up a national AI policy and make sure that AI be part of our overall digital economic growth in the future.
So where do we stand as a country in terms of innovation and in also developing and adopting the latest technology?
So Sri Lanka always had very innovative companies, but these are like ad hoc cases, I would say. We have 1 or 2 companies making splashes here and there globally, and that's been there, but there's not, what is not there was scale and consistency. So given the conditions now, I hope we will have more global use cases emerging out of Sri Lanka. If you look at in the last year, we've seen some companies like WSO2 making splashes globally, putting Sri Lanka on the global map, and also companies like CodeGen moving from traditional software to tech-enabled vehicle manufacturing, from EV tuk-tuks to supercars. So these are fantastic examples that we will put Sri Lanka on the global map, but we need to do this in scale.
Given that Sri Lanka is on a digitalization path, what are we going to see in the future?
Digital payments taking off, and also hopefully we will see our citizens transitioning into digitally literate population. They will start engaging with various public services to private services digitally. So we have some interesting plans in place to enable this dynamic transition to a digital economy. Also, from an industry point of view, Sri Lanka can now position ourselves as a place for digital services innovation in Asia, given our strategic location in South Asia.
So, you're an entrepreneur in the HR tech space. Why should companies move into HR tech systems and, especially cloud-based HR systems?
Now it's a no-brainer. If you want to be competitive in this world, you have to make sure you invest in people and focus on your core business. To do that, companies needs to embrace HR technology. That will actually reduce all the manual work, manual errors, reduce costs, drastically reduce costs, and also make you 100% compliant. It's not only about system, it's about complying with all the government regulation and statutory. And most importantly, at the end of the day, how do you harness the value of your workforce and talent data to make strategic decisions and focus on your core business? That's what HR tech, cloud tech will help you to unleash. And it's ultimately investing in the people and the people experience. That's what HR tech brings. So I think that's one of the fundamental reasons the companies need to transition. There's no way that you can do these things manually anymore. In an era where the AI is going to take off, the companies need to rewire themselves. So every company, small, medium to large, even governments needs to embrace technology to manage their workforce.
So when it comes to tech adoption in the workplace, how has Sri Lanka fared? What more can be done?
Sri Lankan corporates have invested tremendously on digital transformation, and they continue to invest in it. However, what I would like to see happening is more investment towards harnessing the power of data and analytics to use data as a driver for their business growth, because that is key in this new era of AI. So Sri Lankan corporates and the business landscape in general to transition into AI, it's a very, very important Sri Lankan corporates starting leveraging their data and have a data strategy. So this is an area that I feel that the country can invest more. I mean, the corporates can invest more and have a strategy in place.
So you're an entrepreneur, you are an innovator yourself. What is your advice on developing a culture, a better environment for innovation and entrepreneurship here in Sri Lanka?
We need to have a stable country, and then we need to, it's about celebrating the culture of entrepreneurship. We need to celebrate that here. And we are a country which face lots of challenges every day. When you see lots of problems and challenges, that's where the entrepreneurship can thrive. Because entrepreneurship emerges when you see problems in the world. So we are very well placed for that, because we have a lot of problems to solve in Sri Lanka. But we need to really celebrate that culture, and we need to eliminate this fear of failure. If somebody fails trying to solve a problem, you should not ridicule in the society, and you need to marginalize. You need to celebrate that. Okay, he failed, but he learned and he's moving on. He's tried to solve, and somebody else will come and solve the problem. So I think that's key. The other thing is exposure. Sri Lankans need more global exposure and also access to mentoring, and that's what is needed. I think the mentoring, access to incubation and acceleration platform, and when the right seed is in place, access to investment as well.
So Harsha, your company began as a schoolboy's dream, but you're now present in over 20 countries. What are the main factors that enabled this kind of growth and also the values that you portray?
Yeah, so this is a decision which we took 7 years ago to transition from a sort of a lifestyle company to a globally thriving company, and that started by dreaming big. We need to have big dreams, even though we are coming from a very small country, literally unknown in the digital landscape in a global context. We need to think big and then have a very focused strategy and execute. And we have said, we have done that, and there are a number of other companies who have shown examples that that's not impossible. So I think the dreaming big and focus and believing in yourself is key. That's what has happened so far in our journey. We are still in the journey. I mean, this is a never-ending journey, so this journey is the reward. Dream big, have a very focus, and then focus on execution strategy.
What is your vision for a tech-enabled Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka always had a very literate population. I want to see all our citizens digitally literate in the future and set an example to the whole world. Sri Lankan digital literacy rate is also over 90%, like our literate rate, which we used to boast about. Then Sri Lanka becoming a center for digital services innovation. IP innovation, product innovation, globally notable products are being built in this country. And also our traditional industries transitioning with digital technology to become more competitive and more relevant to the global competitive landscape. Overall, I would like to see Sri Lanka's digital economy contributes to GDP growth as an overall driver.
So here's to a tech-enabled Sri Lanka. Lovely having you.
Thank you, Savitri.
Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. So make sure to subscribe, follow and like us for more.